Welcome to a market update video. We are going to take a look at the price of BTC, and we're going to have a chart if the bottom is in or not, if I'm still a bear or if I have turned bullish. So let's go straight into screen share, and then I'll start talking about my outlook regarding BTC. Okay, that's the price of BTC right now. And first, let me answer the question if I'm still bearish or not on the price of BTC. So I think there's a 60% chance that the bottom is in. So I was a bear until now, but a lot of my indicators have turned bullish, and I do not believe anymore that we have not bottomed. I think we did bottom, and that we're not going to go lower than 3K. But I only give it a 60% chance. So that's still a lot. Why only 60%? Because I don't like the action of BTC at the bottom. There's still a hyperwave on it. So that gives a target of 1K. And there are one or two other things that I don't like about price action. So the bear market was too short also. It should have been longer, and there should have been more pain. But that being said, a lot of my indicators have turned bullish, and I now think that we have bottomed. However, I'm expecting a correction, and after that correction, if we can pick up, everything should be fine. If we get that correction and people start panicking, and we go much lower than what I expect, 5K, then if we go through 5K like if it's nothing, then I'm wrong, and we have not bottomed, and we will go lower than 3K. But for now, I think that there's a 60% chance, as I've told you, that we have bottomed. So I'm not a bear anymore, but I have turned bullish. However, I'm expecting right now a correction, a significant correction of around 40%. And I think that it's at these levels that we will have it, get it. Maybe I should put myself here. So you have the last price. I think it's better like this. Okay, let's start. So first we are going to look at the price TD sequential. So TD sequential short term is up, intermediate term is up, and long term is also up. So TD sequential is bullish, but let's take a look through the different time frame. So you're on a 1 here on the 30 minutes. You are on a 4 down with confirmation on a 1 hour. You are on a 1 down without confirmation on a 2 hour. You have a 5 with confirmation on the 3 hour up. You are on a 4 hour, you're on a 3 up confirmation. 5 hour, you're on a 1 down without confirmation. 6 hour, 1 up without confirmation. 8 hour, 1 down without confirmation. So there's a lot of no confirmation. 10 hour, 1 down without confirmation, because price isn't moving a lot. So it is flipping all the time from 1 bullish to 1 bearish, but there's no real trend forming. 12 hours, you're on a 1 up without confirmation. 15 hour, you have a 1 up without confirmation. 1 day, you're on a 3 up without confirmation. 2 days, you had a 9, and now you are on a 1 down without confirmation. Or 1 up. It's flipping all the time. 3 hours, you're on a 8 up with confirmation. So next candle will be a 9, or should be a 9. 1, 2, 3, 4. If we are higher than 6,900, it will be a 9. 4 days, you're on a 7 up with confirmation. 5 days, you're on a 5 up with confirmation. 6 days, you're on a 2 up without confirmation. You had a 9, so 2 candles of maybe correction, and then we could go higher or lower, but I think we'll go lower. 1 week, you're on a 7 up with confirmation. 2 weeks, you're on a 6 up with confirmation. 3 week, you are on a 4 up with confirmation. 1 month, you're on a 3 up with confirmation. 2 months, you're on a 1 up with confirmation. 3 months, you're on a 1 up with confirmation. And 4 months, you're on a 3 down without confirmation. So we never had a confirmation on the monthly chart. Just like in the last bear market, there was no confirmation for the downtrend in the bear market also. Okay, that was what I want to tell you about the TD sequential. So TD sequential is still bullish overall. Now, if we look at the moving average, those are the exponential moving average. They are all pointing up. The weekly is now fully bullish. And if we go down to the 2-minute time frame, it's also bullish. So it's still telling you that you're in an uptrend. If you look at the EMAs, the moving averages. Now, here we have the simple moving averages, and as you can see, they turn bullish too. Since the 30 turned to bullish, and I think that's the 100. Let's see if that's the 100. No, it's the 50. The 30, the 50, and the last one that I have put on here is the 7. And the 7 are all pointing up. We should get a golden cross when the 30 crosses the 50, and then you will be in a full bull market. But right now, you don't have that cross. And let's go back in time and look at what happened last time when you got that cross. So you did get the cross, the golden cross here. And from there, they were in the natural order, orange, green, and red. And they stayed so for the whole, during the entire bull market. So right now, we are somewhere here, but price went above all moving averages. It's like here, but price went higher. But we still didn't have the golden cross. So to me, the bear market is not entirely finished, but because we are still missing the golden cross, and we don't have the right order for the simple moving averages. But it is looking good. It is looking bullish. It turned consensus turned bullish here when the 30 moving average pointed up. Next chart is the COPEC and ADX. So COPEC, I have 2 COPEC indication. This one turned bullish, but this one is still bearish. And ADX is still pointing down, so it's also bearish. What I don't like about this bear market is that we did not go low enough. As you can see, during the last bear market, we went, the histogram turned red, and we went below 0. Now, let's look at this bear market. This bear market looks much too short. I mean, we are turning here, and we did not go below 0, and we haven't had any histogram red, that to me is it's a little light. It means I don't like this. I don't like looking at this and telling you that the bear market is over. When I look at this, it tells me that the bear market is still on. So let's go back. I mean, this is bearish. So the Kopek is bearish because we have one Kopek pointing down and an ADX pointing down. That to me is bearish. That tells me that the bear market is not over. That's why I only give it 60%, because not all my indicators are telling me that we are out of the woods. If we look at Bollinger Band, so Bollinger Band is all positive, 2 hours is positive, and weekly is positive, so everything in between is also positive. If we look at MACD, MACD is positive on the weekly, and it is flat on the 2 hour. It is slightly bearish on the 4 hour. It is slightly bearish on the 6 hour, negative. It is negative on the 1 day, and it is positive on the 1 week. So MACD, what can I tell you about MACD? MACD, what I can tell you is that it is negative 3 out of 5. So not entirely, but mostly negative. So MACD goes into my idea that we are going to have a correction. It's starting to pointing down, MACD. Now let's look at Kaufman, a moving average, adaptive and stochastic, simple and unbalanced volume. So if we look at those, Kaufman is the moving average is Kaufman moving average is positive on every time frame, and the stochastic is negative on the 2 hour. It was flat last time I looked at it, but now it's negative on the 2 hour. It is positive on the 4 hour. It is flat on the 6 hour. It is flat on the 1 day, but turning bearish, done negative. And it is positive on the 1 week. So stochastic is positive 2 out of 5, so not too positive, but it's also flat a lot. And if we go at the candlestick, so the candlesticks, the candlestick pattern tells me it's all bearish. So 1 week is bearish. 2 hour just went positive, but 4 hour is still bearish. 6 hour is still bearish. 1 day is, I would give it a bearish, and 1 week is bearish. So to me, it is bearish now 4 out of 5 candlestick patterns. And if we look at my next indicator, which is the RSI band. So RSI band is positive on every time frame, since the 6 hour is positive and the 1 week is positive. So in between it will be positive 2. That's an interesting chart, and I'm going to talk about it more in depth. Since now we are looking at the Madrid moving average, we're looking at RSI, MACD, momentum, and directional momentum index. So we are looking at quite some interesting charts. I'm going to talk about the directional momentum index, but and just let's say that on the weekly everything is bullish, and on the daily everything is bullish too. Now let's talk about the weekly. As you can see, it is bullish for sure, but look at DMI. That's my directional movement index. So if you look at that, you see that the histogram touched the EDX line. And every time the histogram touched the EDX line in the past, something happened. So here's the last time EDX touched the histogram bar. And as you can see, it touched it twice. And then you had a correction of nearly 70%. The time before that, we touched the ADX 3 times, histogram touched the ADX 3 times, and we had a correction of around 35%, nearly 35%. The time before that, we touched twice, and then we had a correction of 40%. The time before that, we touched, let's say, 3 times, and we had a correction of 25%, nearly 25%. The time before that, we touched twice. On the third touch, we had a correction of 40%. So as you can see, every time there's a touch, there comes a correction. Here we have again 4 candle touching, and we have a correction of nearly 70%. Here we have 1 candle touching. We had one before that, but they were not adjacent. They were not one after the other. So here we have 1 candle touching, and we have a correction of 80%. And the last time we touched a couple of times here, but we had a correction of 52%, more than 52%. So as you can see, every time we touch, we get a correction. So and here we touched again. So I'm expecting the same thing as in the past, a correction. How far will we go as the Madrid moving average? Let's see if that's what's called yet. Madrid moving average reborn. So when we I'm expecting us to touch this, the middle of that band again. And if that holds and we go up, I would be raising my probability of the bear market being over, which is now 60%. If you look at stop and reverse parabolic SSR, the 3-week is still negative, but next week, if we don't drop, we will touch, and that will tell me that the bear market is over, and the 2-week is already positive. If we go, if 5K doesn't hold and we touch this, we are back in bear mode. So if we go lower than 3.8, and next week it will be higher, it will be around 4.2. If we go lower than 4.2K, the bear markets could still be there. But for now it is positive, and this one should be turning on the next candle if we don't drop. But I'm expecting us to drop right now. So now I'm going to look at OXO and fractals Williams. So if we start with the fractals, 6 hours positive, 12 hours positive. One week is negative, still negative. And 1 month is positive. And also 6 hour is negative, but all the rest up to 1 month is positive. Let's go to the next chart. Here, I'm not going to go into small time frames because they are also just positive. But if you look at weekly, we see that everything is positive regarding percentage error, OBV, RSI, and OBV. And the KK intraday MAs is also positive. So everything is positive on that chart. Next chart, also we're not going into smaller time frames because they are also positive. If we keep on 1 week's time frame, you can see that they are all positive. Here we have my combined DME moving average euro with a trading system, which is which just turned positive. It was negative, but it turned positive. Does work all the time. Now it's in a positive phase. We'll see if it keeps in a positive phase, even with the drop I'm expecting. And parabolic stops, movement rate of change, B3 directional index, composite momentum index, and force index. They are all positive on the weekly. On smaller time frame, it's also mostly positive. So let's keep it there for now. I don't want to spend too much time on that chart today. Let's look at parabolic glitter, relative strength index, RSI, and commodity channel and MACD. So everything is positive except the last one, the MACD, MTF. All the rest is positive. Let's keep it there for now. Smaller time frames are also mostly positive. Not all, but mostly positive. So a lot of things turn positive for sure with the move we had, with the move up we had. Now, if we take ultimate bar analysis, Emiliano Mesa, and the RSI Robo Average Directional Index with DI plus and DI minus, KK Trader Dynamic Index. So if you look at all those different indicators, they are all positive on the weekly. And here I'm going to talk of the Wermuth Heiken Ashi candlesticks oscillator. So it is positive on the 1 month and the 3 weeks. And if we look at my strategy MACD and RSI, so strategy MACD and RSI is still negative on the 1 month, but smaller time frame are all positive. If we look at volume accumulation percentage index, it is positive on 1 month and 1 week, as you can see. And lastly, if we could look at the commodity channel, it is positive on 1 month and 6 hours. So that's also positive. So mostly, it gives you mostly a positive picture. And the only thing that is missing is the strategy MACD and RSI alert, which is still negative on the 1 month, but the rest has turned positive. And that's the next chart I'm going to look at, because it is my multi-indicator and parabolic indicator. So the parabolic indicator is still negative, but the multi-indicator for me turned positive since we went higher than the moving averages. However, we are still missing a golden cross. Let's go back in the past. So you see the last golden cross we did get. So we had the first golden cross here and the second golden cross here. And once you had both the golden cross, the green were higher than the red, and the red were higher than the blue during the entire bull market. Right now, you still have the red below, the green below the red. So that's not positive, but the rest is positive. So I'm expecting the golden cross next week, the first one. Then there will be a second golden cross when the second line crosses the red line. And by that time, the parabolic indicator should give us a green light too. Next indicator is all positive too. Next indicators, I'm looking at DME, ADX, and that's it. That's mostly DME and ADX. They are all positive on the weekly. Here you have MEMR and Bollinger Band parabolic SSR. So as you can see, it is positive. If you look at the parabolic SSR Ichimoku and Ichimoku time frame, you see that a lot has turned positive. 2 out of 3 is positive. The first indicator is the green line under the price. That's positive. Second one is the arrow pointing up. That's positive. The only thing that is not positive is that we're still in the Ichimoku cloud, and I want us to be on top of it. So I want us to get out of the cloud, just as during last bear market here, we went out of the cloud and then stayed higher. So from now, we are still in the cloud. That's negative to me. Now, one more Ichimoku time frame. Here we have, again, a positive sign, the arrow, and we are positive on those 3 candles. But we are still in the cloud, which is negative. So 1 out of 2 is positive. Next indicator is also an Ichimoku on steroids, and this one is all positive. Then you have one more Ichimoku enhanced. This is positive too, but you're still in the cloud, negative. And then we get one, no, that was last Ichimoku. Now I'm going to, one of the things that make me bullish is this chart. I have seen it after when I wanted to see it. I want to see this chart here, okay? Because it would have told me that the bottom is in, but I have seen it only last week. So this indicator tells you, if you look at last bear market, it touched once here, and then it was a couple of weeks below, but we went, when we came through it, and the bear market was over. So now we touched again only once. Maybe we'll touch it twice. I don't think we will. If we will, it will be quite scary, because if that line does not hold, we are going for 1.8K according to that indicator. But I think it will hold. I think 5K will hold, and then we should go higher. But this gives you this tells you that the bottom is in, and that indicator is called RSMFT Murray Math Line Channel. Now here you have NVT and one more indicator, NVT and Oscar Simple Trend Ichimoku. So Oscar Simple Trend Ichimoku is positive, but NVT is negative. It's negative on the weekly, and it's negative on the daily. we have reached a very, very high level of NVT. And normally you get a correction when you get that high. Okay, and my last chart, and then I'm done. It's this one. It's my, no, it's my, I have one more chart, but it's so the best parabolic SSR is positive everywhere, even on the 6 hour. But if we drop a little, it will 6 hour will turn negative, and then one day will turn negative, and then the 5 day, maybe the 5 day won't turn negative, but the other one should turn negative as soon as we drop. Right now we are still positive, and here we have my downtrend channel. Downtrend channel tells you simply that if we go higher than up here, we should go higher. Let's see if I can yes, if we go higher than 8,299, we should go higher, and if we go lower than 6,894, we should go lower. And in the middle, you have 7,597. But right now, we are positive. Okay, that was all for today. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed and that you are quite happy with the good news that I have. But as I said, I'm expecting a correction to 5K and then higher. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you for watching and see you next time.